Hello and welcome to CNN News 18. Today we have the Deputy Chief Minister of a poll-bound state, Chhattisgarh, that's T.S. Singh Deo. Welcome to CNN News 18, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your channel.
So the first question I'll ask you that the last time around 2018, I was there in the state, I was touring and unprecedented success. You swept to power with 68 seats. That's not a small number. What are your expectations this time? The BJP claiming that they'll come to power this time.
I should say so, and one should never underestimate one's opponents, whether in politics or in the field of play. It'll be almost like the sun rising from the west if the BJP wins the election. One wishes them well. They are participants of the political process, our democratic process. That apart, the government has done well. On many fronts, the government has delivered. It can never be 100% delivery if you compare it to the manifesto or declarations made before the elections. It's almost impossible to deliver 100%. But substantial portions of the manifesto have been implemented. And last year before the elections, the expectation in the national media and if I can say so, Delhi was of the three poll-going states, that is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. People were expecting 130 odd seats for the Congress out of 200 in Rajasthan. Similarly, a fairly comfortable majority in Madhya Pradesh. And because of Mr. Jogi's factor, Chhattisgarh Congress was completely discounted, that it is Congress will not be coming into Chhattisgarh. But the voters gave us a chance. They accepted us. They accepted us as a better alternative. And like you said, correctly, 68 out of 90 seats then. And today in the by-elections that have taken place, Congress has been able to win all the by-elections. 2 seats were vacated, unfortunately, by the death of Jogi Congress MLAs. One was Mr. Jogi, one was Mr. Devrat. The third seat was vacated due to the sad demise of BJP sitting MLA. That too the Congress won. And one seat was vacated because our MLA became the member of parliament. That seat was with the Congress and it remained with the Congress in the by-election. So the performance seems to have been accepted of the government by the people. Then we lost another Congress MLA, our Deputy Speaker. He died an untimely death, and we won that election again. So 5 seats went to polls in the period. 2 were the Jogi Congress seats, 1 was the BJP seats, 2 were with the Congress, and the 2 remained with the Congress, and we were able to succeed in the other 5. So 5 by-elections we had over various periods of time, and the people supported the Congress.
I get your point, sir.
That is mainly because of the delivery of the government.
I get your point, sir. But the question I'm asking you is that with 68 seats last time, what is I mean, are you expecting to, better the tally list in this time around, or you think that will be a tough call?
It is always tough, but one aims high. So what are some of our fellow party men are saying is 75 plus. It's closer to 71. Then BJP is 46 from 13 or 15. They had won 15 seats. They lost a by-election, so let us say 14. They lost an MLA, sadly, too. We couldn't have a by-election because less than 6 months were left. So though their strength is 13 today, but let us say 15. So from 15 to 46 is a long journey. 46, 45 is the halfway mark. For the Congress, 4 seats more from 71 doesn't seem such a far distance to travel. But yet, while we are looking at 75 plus, I would be disappointed if we get less than 2/3. 2/3 would be 60. So I'll peg the Congress expectation from 60 to 75 plus and expect the electorate to give us another chance.
Right. So you talked about the manifesto. You said that it's not possible to, make 100%, implement 100% what you promised, and that's fair enough. But How do you, I mean, if I may ask you, over the last 5 years, you have walked, I mean, as Dr. Raman Singh has done his bit during his tenure, Mr. Bhuvnesh Bagal has also done his bit during his tenure. How will you rate the work done by Mr. Bagal in the last 4.5 years?
7 out of 10. I have said it earlier too on different channels. So 10 out of 10 is again always
Where,
an
where,
expectation.
where is he missing those three marks?
Some things which would not have been able to deliver. So if
Right,
even in Ramraj, mythologies where we have seen ideal situations, there would have been deficiencies. Uh, so we should not exaggerate assessing even ourselves when we are
right,
not talking amongst ourselves to the people at large through the media. So reasonable and rational marking, as I think 7 out of 10 is pretty high. It is pretty good. Out of 90 seats, if you convert 70%, 9 sevens are 63. So you get
right,
63 seats. I don't think it's an exaggerated. Had I said 80%, it would have translated into, let us say, 72 seats.
right.
So I never speak uh, too expansively. I mean, that's not the way I present my points of view.
Right. Sir, I interviewed Dr. Raman Singh a week and a half back, and he presented one thing that one issue is about Bastar. He said that during our time, Naxalism was under control, but there was a very strong allegations from him. He said that Congress is enabling Naxalism, is reviving Naxalism in the state. How do you respond to that allegation?
It is sad coming from Dr. Raman Singh. He seems to have forgotten the Jairam Ghati massacre in 2013, just before the elections when he was the chief minister. We lost about 30 odd people in that massacre. And compared to that period, Naxalism and its activities or incidents and loss of life has reduced considerably. It's an effort headed by the state government where central government subsidiary forces are there and the state police machinery is there under the
Mhm,
joint command of the chief minister. And the
mhm.
incidents have come down by more than half. It is not zero, but it has come down to more than half. A lot of areas have been opened. A lot of schools have been opened where earlier they were not accessible. Roads were not there. Now the government reach has increased in those areas at least 2 times. I'm not talking of Bastar. I'm talking of those limited areas.
Overall,
Overall,
yeah.
if for 200 odd villages where Naxalism was rampant to the extent that the state machinery was not very visible, then such areas would have been reduced to less than 100 villages. So it is not
Uh,
zero, but it's a substantial gain. Substantial gain. Sukma
right.
area, a lot of area has been improved, where Naxalism still seems to be present in a substantial way. It's part of Bijapur, part of Narayanpur district, the belt that adjoins Maharashtra and Telangana.
So one a question I particularly want to ask, and particularly it's of interest of all our viewers, that you profusely praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently. You said that he doesn't discriminate. He has walked along with the state government for the development of the state government. Do you stand by your comment?
If you go through my comment, I could have played it to you on the video itself. But if you go through my comment,
Right.
one, I didn't praise him profusely.
Okay.
If you go through the recording, I don't know if you have it. I'll
I
send it
have.
if you
I
have it.
have, sir.
So you see where I started from. I said that we welcome you in Chhattisgarh, sir. Uh, he signaled a pranam. Then I went on to say that in the federal structure, when we work together, I have, in my experience, not seen that the central government has not responded. If we have asked, we have got, and we will ask our right. It is the right of the state to get a share from the center. It is not a gift from the center. If you read,
Absolutely.
if you recall what I said, I would request you to play it again.
Absolutely.
You would see those words that hak. What I said was कि हमारा हक भी हम मांगते हैं और साथी के रूप में आप देते हो. तो in my, I hope, subtle way, I had put forth the tensions that sometimes are seen to prevail in interstate, center-state relations, the federal structure. So
that
I put that in
State
perspective. So I was not loud. I'm not loud. I say things which people who can understand would understand. And if you play it, you would see that I have said, I have repeated the federal structure at least 3 times.
Right. But you
So
also said that he doesn't discriminate.
Pains to Mr. Modi. It was regard to a Prime Minister in whose program I had the honor to be present as a representative of Chhattisgarh. And in the interest of Chhattisgarh, I was reaching out to the Prime Minister of the country without saying that one is expecting. And if you read if you hear the last part of the statement I made, was that we hope to continue to receive this relationship, which many people rang up and told me, ki, Baba, you, in the same breath, you were able to say that you are coming back to power and you expect the Prime Minister to continue the help from the center if he remains the Prime Minister. So it is for you to sort of see the recording, hear the recording, and interpret it.
Yeah.
I do not see any word of praise beyond the point. And if you would also recall that our Chief Minister, I think it was the 7th of September, the Prime Minister was also present on the stage. We had this meeting in Raipur, where the inauguration of a national highway, which reduced the distance to Visakhapatnam by about 100 kilometers from Raipur. That function was there. And in that also function, our Chief Minister did not hesitate to mention Mr. Gadkari, that he gives us more than we ask for.
Absolutely.
It is on recording, 7th of September. And he continued to say that we hope, we expect the government to say that, to continue to do that. And I continued the same in the presence of the Prime Minister. That time, Mr. Gadkari was not there, or the Health Minister was not there. The Prime Minister was there.
Sir. I get your point, sir. But the fact that
I am not a person who would praise Mr. Modi, but I am certainly a person who would like to speak in the interest of the state and not have an adversarial position. And he acknowledged it in all humility.
Absolutely.
The Prime Minister acknowledged whatever I was saying.
But the very
and also, if there is any interpretation of my having praised the Prime Minister, that is not what I said. I paid my regards to the Prime Minister of the country.
So the very next day, we have the Chief Minister contradict you, saying that saying things that are absolutely opposite to the what you have said. I mean, I'm not saying praising, but at least endorsing the work done by the Prime Minister for the state, and not taking adversarial position, borrowing word from your what you just said.
When I'm sitting with you, and we are sort of partners in progress of a region.
Absolutely.
I would relate those points, and off the record, I did mention to the Prime Minister that didn't come in the recording. Yes, sir, there are issues, let us say, regarding trains or other issues. I will give them to you in writing.
Fair enough.
So I get it. Those things which are not fully done, there are dues that the state sometimes has. There are works that the state asks for, and those are not complied with. So it's never 100% situation. I was in the Panchayat department earlier. I was with the Panchayat department. and we were leading the country in delivering Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So I'm saying just that. And we were rewarded each year, 3 consecutive years, by an additional bonus 100 crores, 120 crores, 150 crores for achieving more than a target. In Corona times, I am on record again. I am not saying anything new. During Corona times, this question was asked because some states felt that they were getting stepmotherly treatment. I am on record as having said that, no, I don't see Chhattisgarh having to face that situation. We are getting vaccines when we are asking for them, and we have a sufficient quantity. So I am
No,
simply saying
you
what I
have
have
a
said.
track record of being one of the performing ministers, A, and also one of the ministers who also believed in center state, federal structure and maintaining a very proper relation, a
Certainly, it
healthy
has to
relation,
be
if I may call it.
everything. And wherever
Absolutely,
there are
absolutely.
deficiencies,
But
we have
but
also
the
brought them up. I am also on
but the
record as having
perception, but
said
the
that we haven't got our GST dues in time.
absolutely, but the
Those are my
perception, sir.
departments. Apart from my departments, you would recently have heard that the rice quota for the state has been reduced. So it's not a one-way street. It's not the same thing. So within those limits, everything should be seen and read within those limits.
I agree, sir. But what I'm saying is that there's a perception that you and Mr. Baghel are on different point of different stands on this
I don't think
how you
I don't think so. I have not heard Mr. Baghel saying, I won't use the word abuse, but saying something contrary to the dignity of the Prime Minister's chair. And there are times when he has also said that the government, central government has given when we've asked, and we'll ask more and we expect to get. And there are times where he may have said something for the Prime Minister, positive things for the Prime Minister too. I remember, I think it was in 2022, when I think the Prime Minister's mother had passed away. And Mr. Baghel had been given time to meet with the Prime Minister. So his office had got across to the Prime Minister's office saying that under the circumstance, we'll postpone the program, the interaction, and we'll take another date. And they were conveyed that, no, the Prime Minister will be there. You can come on your scheduled date. And Mr. Baghel was on record saying that there are very few people like this who under the circumstance would continue to be doing work. So should that be taken out of context and said that this is praise for the Prime Minister from a Congress Chief Minister? That is not the thing. Media somehow has either been asked to present it in a particular way or has presented it in a particular way,
no,
or
at least
maybe seen in a
we
particular way.
haven't, sir.
I would
We're just
request through and
making
through you
sense out of
that
what we
things should
saw.
be placed in perspective, that I'm not by nature a person who shows disrespect.
Okay,
and
fair enough.
my regard was to the person occupying the post or responsibility of the Prime Minister of the country. But if the party feels that I need to be more circumspect, I'll certainly see that.
So one question that that has come in the sections of media in the last 48 hours is that in the extended CWC, you apologized to Mr. Kharge for the perceived praise of Prime Minister. What I'm not saying praise, but perceived praise of Prime Minister. Is it true, sir?
First thing, the extended session of the Congress Working Committee started. It's a great honor for me to have been selected as a member of the Central Election Committee, and as such was an invitee to the meeting. My serial number was 157. It was a moment of great pride for me. The first thing which Mr. Kharge said while starting the meeting was that nothing should go out of the meeting. What is said in the meeting, we have seen sometimes that things go out of the meeting. So he started the meeting with this directive that not a word should go out. So, assuming that everybody who was in the meeting would adhere to his directives, to his direction. And nobody would have said what has happened in the meeting. Hence, whatever is there is in the sphere of conjecture, speculation. If there is a statement from the CWC about whatever has happened, then who would be the spokesperson of the CWC as what transpired in the CWC? Everything else is conjecture. And we had clear directions from our respected president that nothing must go out of this hall.
Okay. One very final question. We have come almost at the end of this chat, sir. I'll go back to the interview I had with Mr. Raman Singh, Dr. Raman Singh, I must say. He said something very interesting. He said that I asked him that why hasn't BJP named you, I mean, Dr. Raman Singh as the chief ministerial face. His counter was neither the Congress has named Bhupesh Baghel as the chief ministerial face. So my question is, do you see the Congress post-election or even pre-election naming you as their chief ministerial face or electing you as the chief minister once BJP or once Congress comes back to power?
This is also on record that we had our meeting, Chhattisgarh meeting with our central leadership, representatives of the central leadership, with Mr. Kharge, with Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Venugopal ji was there, Shelja ji was there.
Right.
And the other senior selected leaders from Chhattisgarh had been called. This is the 28th of June at 24 Akbar Road. And in that meeting, it was decided that we will fight this election in a joint leadership platform with Mr. Bhupesh Baghel leading the team. So that is the direction we had got to date as I'm talking to you right now. This is what we have been given. This is the way we are to fight the election. Then various committees have been made. And the chief ministerial face or the chief minister after the election, that is always decided by the central leadership of any party, of I think almost every party. It is the central leadership who takes a call. They seek the advice of the elected members and then they take the final decision. So that is the process. So we've seen over time elections fought with the chief minister face, without the chief minister face, with the chief minister face who has lost, like in Uttarakhand, yet he was made the chief minister, and then he had a by-election and he's back in power. We had Mr. Arjun Singh, who was the chief minister face. We won that election in Madhya Pradesh. 2 days later, we had another chief minister after his swearing in. So there are various scenarios which come about, but today the stable, very stable and very clear situation is that Bhupesh Baghel is leading the team of leaders in Chhattisgarh, and we are fighting this election unitedly and hoping and expecting, not with overconfidence, with that sense of confidence which comes from having honestly tried to deliver and delivered on very important platforms, many very important platforms, and we will win. You see, you started the conversation with promises. It is seen in the light of promises, but if you see the manifesto again, what was the wording of the manifesto? Chhattisgarh ke 36 laksh. It was the People's Manifesto, Jan Ghoshna Patra, and the word used was not promises, but targets. Laksh, ye hamara target hai. But it's okay to be seen that when you say something like this, you're saying it to achieve it. You're not saying it just like that. So many of those targets that we had kept in the nature of promises felt by the electorate also, they also feel that, no, you promised us this. You said this means you promised us this. You have to deliver. So you delivered on many. The agricultural price of paddy is nowhere else in the country what you're getting. The paddy of sugarcane price nowhere else in the country.
All
Electricity,
right.
Tendu leaves at 4,000, nowhere else in the country. I could go on. English medium schools have been started. More than 1 lakh pumps have been energized for the farmers. One could go on and on and on. You know, this very popular scheme. Self-help groups have been empowered. Forest produce 70 or 70+% of the country's forest produce is coming through Chhattisgarh today, because we have provided for minimum support price for 67 forest produce apart from Tendu leaves, and
Absolutely.
value addition for them. There are a number of things which have been delivered. So on
Mr. Deo,
that
before
basis
I
is
get
what we
get your
feel, what
point
I
that
feel,
you have
that we
promised,
are
you have delivered
to.
what you. I get your point. You have delivered what you promised, or at least most of it, and you're happy and confident about it. But before I let you go, one very final question: do you see yourself as the chief minister, the next chief minister of Chhattisgarh?
Only the High Command sees the chief minister. We work with the party, we go along, and whatever responsibility is given, we take that and try to do our best.
That's lovely speaking to you, Mr. Deo. And hopefully, when we speak after November election, maybe I will be speaking to the chief minister himself. I don't know. Maybe you will be able to tell. But I hope that you'll give us an interview then
Again,
as well.
speculative. But thank you so much. So nice of you to
Thank you,
have
sir.
allowed me to join you.
Thank you so much, sir.